Hi, guys. Welcome back. I'm so glad you're here today because I really want to talk about an important topic that is near and dear to my heart. And the reason being is because I have full-fledgedly experienced what I'm about to talk about today. And that is suffering at the hands of success. And I think this is a little bit of a contrarian topic because most people, if they are in a mode of success, and achieving goals, and given that it's like top of the year, Happy New Year, by the way, given that it's like January 2025 while I'm recording this, I can see already people, write down your goals, reach your goals, do this, do that. And it's all centered around success. And I love success. I really do. I'm a projector in human design, and the sign that I'm most aligned is success. So success is really, really important to me. It has been my whole life. In fact, when I was a kid, I literally had this scrapbook. It was an old scrapbook, not the nice fancy ones that came about however long ago was that like in the 90s, 2000s. Not the nice fancy one, this old like our antique one. I still have it actually. And this scrapbook had so many things in it as it related to success and how to be successful. I literally would have like athletes in there, quotes, like success quotes, motivational quotes. And so I was just like obsessed with success. And the longer I went in my life and my career, the more I just had this like vision of me being one of those like business people in an airport, like on the phone, like making deals. And so it was like I had this vision of myself as a successful person for a really, really, really long time. And I had the like competitiveness to go with it because my competitiveness was so tangible. There was one time, my dad loves telling the story. There was one time I was so obsessed with these hedgehogs, groundhogs, in the back of our house. This mama groundhog had baby groundhogs, and I was damned and determined to catch one of them. I put this in the competitive category because the attention and discipline I gave to this was ridiculous. I waited for hours outside of that little hole to capture a groundhog. And when I was struggling to do it, I like recruited the neighbor boy and I put gloves on, like it was a whole thing. And I did catch the groundhog. In fact, I have a Polaroid of it somewhere of me sitting with my gloves on holding a wild groundhog. So I've always really been obsessed with competition and success, and it served me very well. I started off as a sales job. I went into recruiting, did sales and recruiting, then went into clinical research, started off as an inside sales manager, then became a sales rep, then I managed a sales team, and then I did sales enablement and strategy, and then I was a SVP, EVP of sales, running proposals and contracts and sales, and have the global experience, all the things. And so I'm really fascinated with what it takes to be successful. I always have been. But one thing that is something I think we're getting wrong and something that I really want to address is success is creating suffering. And the more we try to be successful, the more we see people struggling. And the way people are struggling, maybe this is you, is definitely me. For me, my struggle was probably a little bit of like, I would say maybe 3-year burn. And it got worse and worse the higher up I went on the food chain. And that's a whole nother topic. But the higher I got, the more pressure I put on myself, the more I felt like I had to contort myself into being something I wasn't, the more I was worried about what other people think about me. Am I dumb? Can I really do this job? Should I have this job? I guess we call that imposter syndrome, right? And so the higher I went, the more intense the imposter syndrome got, and the more I had the symptoms of suffering from success. I was making well over $200,000 a year. And yet I had anxiety to the point where I needed to be medicated or else I couldn't function. I had back pain so bad I couldn't even walk up the stairs at night sometimes, most nights. and I had to like bear crawl up the stairs. And the more I talk to people, the more I notice that I was not unique, you know? I was talking to some gal pals not long ago, and they said they were talking to me about their experiences, and they were very similar, just physical symptoms of success, physical symptoms of suffering from success. And the more I talk to people, the more this comes up. And it's the whole gamut. You know, it's anxiety, it's depression, it's sleepless nights, it's migraines, it's generalized feeling of unhappiness, generalized feeling of unfulfillment. And we're labeling this as burnout. But the thing about it is that I don't know if we really get totally burnt out unless we're doing all this other stuff, like trying to be somebody we're not, or contorting ourselves into, you know, making sure we work and work and work in order to prove ourselves. And so I don't actually think the burnout and the physical symptoms are coming from what we're doing, because honestly, I think if what we were doing we really enjoyed and we felt very at peace with ourselves and things just kind of naturally happened for us, we wouldn't feel burnout despite the hours we're working or despite whatever. And so what I am trying to land on here is there's entirely too many people now in today's world. I hate to say it, but I feel like it's hitting women harder, but maybe I just say that because those are the people I talk to more. But we're suffering at the hands of success. You know, the one thing that we think we all want: higher titles, more pay, more responsibility, more direct reports. Those things that we think we want because they equate to success end up creating a massive amount of suffering for ourselves. And I often ask myself, and what do we do about this? And this is where the purpose conversation comes in that I talk about more often than not. And the reason I think the purpose stuff comes into play during these times is simply because purpose to me, and my definition of purpose, is fulfilling your soul's desires. And so if ultimately you're fulfilling your soul's desires, theoretically, you should be pretty freaking happy, right? You should be freaking at peace. And when we're completely out of whack and misaligned and not fulfilling our soul's desires, and we're doing just the opposite, we're doing everything against our soul's desires, then that's when we get burnout. That's when we start seeing the suffering from success. And my antidote to that, or my solution to that, is we stop doing things just because we think we're supposed to, without any form of checking in with ourselves, without any form of figuring out what the heck do we actually really want. How do we do that? We go inside. We don't go outside. We're too keen on going to the outside world in order to figure out what we want, instead of going to the inside world, which is our own soul and our own desires. And so when we do that, when we do the right work, when we go inside, not outside, then we can figure out what we truly want. But when we're going outside constantly, we're contorting ourselves into what we think everybody else wants us to be. And that's where we see the suffering from success. So my solution to that, my advice around that, is to start figuring out how to truly be living your purpose, which is delivering on your soul's desires. And the only way to do that is to go inward and not outward. So I hope this helped. More on this to come, because I'm really passionate about this and switching out from this success, or, success being suffering. It's just, suffering at the hands of success is not what we're supposed to be doing. So more on this to come. Thank you guys for listening. Let me know how you feel, if this resonates, and I'll be back next week.